Man, it's so hot. I almost decided to take a week off and then blame it on a heat stroke or something of that sort. Korea is insane, and I mean that. It's pretty wild what's going on in Korea. Right now, Korea has been declared as the best performing market in Asia, and this is mainly due to the fact that the new president is crypto friendly. And announcements came out saying that now companies are able to release their own stablecoins. The Bank of Korea had a CBDC project running and they decided to scrap it just a little while ago. According to some announcements, South Korea has paused the second phase of its central bank CBDC testing due to banks' growing interest in stablecoins. So initially, the South Korean government was testing, or the Central Bank of Canada was, Central Bank of Korea was testing CBDCs to see how the public would perceive it, how it would take in the nation of South Korea. And of course, I don't know, like they don't know their own people. Koreans are money greedy. I mean, the rest of the world is, but Koreans in particular. So when one person jumps on and starts making cash, the rest of them jump on the bandwagon. And so the CBDCs were kind of a test ground to see if people were going to take it, or the banks, other banks were going to be interested in it. And now this thing has exploded. So basically, South Korea's stock market has been supercharged by an investor frenzy over won-based digital money this month, following newly elected President Lee Jae-myung's pledge to allow crypto asset backed by the national currency. Stocks that have been involved in the Bank of Korea's digital currency project, including Kakao Play and LG CNS, have been on a wild ride. Kakao Pay shares more than doubled this month, and LG CNS rose almost 70% before pairing some gains this week on profit taking. On the Kosdaq junior market, fintech security company and Athens stock jumped 80%, while Me2ON, a mobile game producer, tripled, with its subsidiary recently launched a dollar-pegged stablecoin for casino games. Like, it's insane. So this is what's happening in South Korea. Once again, in 2017, I think 18, Korea was one of the reasons why crypto pumped, and now the history seems to be repeating itself. We don't see the gains just yet in the crypto market, despite the fact that a massive amount of the Korean population is in crypto. The market rally has encouraged retail investors to increase their leverage to chase gains, with outstanding margin loans rising to about $15 billion, according to data from the Korea Financial Investors Association. Just understand what's going to happen to this bubble when it bursts. So this is going to be a massive drop in the Korean economy, but I mean, there's going to be money made left and right before that happens. The wave of retail enthusiasts from the likely issuance of won-based stablecoins, along the expansions of shareholder-friendly policies from the new government, has helped boost the benchmark Kospi Composite Index almost 30% this year to a near 4-year high. It has also made South Korea the best performing market in Asia in the first half of the year. The popularity of stocks seen as potentially benefiting from won-based stablecoins comes despite the government having yet to announce the details of its cryptocurrency policies. Expectations had been fueled by Lee's appointment of Kim Jong-bum, a long-time advocate of digital tokens, as his chief policy advisor, and by a parliamentary bill proposed by the ruling party this month to promote the country's digital asset industry. The bill will allow companies with as little as 500,000 won, or I guess this is $500 million, $500 million. I would imagine the Korean numbers are counted differently. They count in 10,000. So this must be I assume like $500 million. Anyway, in equity capital to issue won-based stablecoins. So basically, any company is going to begin issuing stablecoins. We're going to have stablecoins coming out of the poop shoot left and right. A move critics warn could open the floodgates to undercapitalized players and cause systematic risks. And it will. Not could, it will. It most certainly will. South Korea is one of the world's most vibrant crypto markets, with about a fifth of the country's population trading digital asset. That's a huge number of people. Let's have a quick look at the markets and see where we're at with the market cap and all that jazz. Right now, the market cap stands at $3.4 trillion with $98 billion in trading volume. Bitcoin is at 107,000. Ethereum is at $2,500. Finally, we've got Solana pumping. There was some news on Solana. $156 for Solana. I'm going to get to the news in just a bit. BNB has pumped. Also some news on BNB. Cardano at 58 cents still. Toncoin $2.94. Litecoin 86. Monero, Polkadot not really moving all that much. Picoin on place 38. And quick look at Meowcoin. Meowcoin has had a pump apparently, and now a 93% drop. What? Meowcoin is at $500,000 market cap again. Yeah, so Meowcoin had a nice pump. So somebody pumped it up, took the profits, and then tanked the price once again. Boom. BNB chain hits 0.8 second blocks with Maxwell fork. So BNB had an upgrade. They implemented the hard fork Maxwell, and now speeds are increased, and so is the price tag for BNB. South Korea scraps 2011 kimchi bonds, ban as dollar stablecoins demand soar locally. I think we're going to see a bit of a frenzy. I mean, it's happening already, but there's going to be a massive frenzy in South Korea. Dollar-backed stablecoins have South Korean investors in a frenzy, and so all companies that are releasing stablecoins are going to see massive gains. And so again, the money, instead of going into crypto, is going to go into these stocks, into these companies. I guess that's where we're going to see the most gains. According to reports, South Korea has lifted a 14-year-old ban that prohibited domestic financial institutions from buying kimchi bonds in a bid to attract offsetting capital inflows. The Bank of Korea initiated the ban prohibiting local investment in kimchi bonds in 2011 amid concerns they would cause currency mismatches among local issuers. It has stayed in place for over a decade and may have remained in place if not for the central bank's concern over a won's weakness coupled with a lack of foreign currency liquidity as South Korean retail investors scramble to invest in overseas stocks and dollar-backed stablecoins. So instead of having money flowing out of Korea, it's better to keep it in here. And so they decided to let's just start producing stablecoins locally to keep the money here. Tom Lee says that companies like MicroStrategy, Metaplanet arguably represent the higher margin component of future financial architecture. The investor also says that such a trend would be beneficial for Ethereum given its domination of stablecoins, which are necessary to provide liquidity for crypto assets. In his mind, this is what's going to drive Ethereum to 10x over the next while. Probably not this bull cycle, but Wall Street strategist Tom Lee is aiming to create the MicroStrategy of Ethereum. Tom Lee has been appointed chairman of the board of directors of Bitcoin miner Bitmain Immersion Technologies effective Monday. Bitmain announced a $250 million private placement to implement a buying strategy around Ether, which it aims to make its primary treasury reserve asset. Lee's appointment comes amid a groundswell of interest from traditional financial institutions around stablecoins, many of which run on the Ethereum network. And so with all the stablecoin issuance, potential stablecoins being issued here in South Korea, I guess we're going to see which blockchain they're going to be issued on. Will these companies launch their own blockchains, or will they begin launching everything on Ethereum as well? And I don't know who this guy is. Who is Thomas Lee? Thomas Lee was born in Westland, MI, the third child of 4 siblings of Korean immigrant parents. His father was a retired psychiatrist and his mother a homemaker turned Subway franchisee owner. I know this may be far-fetched, but I believe there is a connection between him, a Korean American, or I guess an American, and the frenzy in South Korea. The apple doesn't fall far from the tree, as they say, and you can take the Korean out of Korea, but not Korea out of the Korean. I know this is speculative, but mark my words, man. This guy is going to be involved in the Korean frenzy of stablecoin making. And it's going to be run on Ethereum, and he'll be in the center of the focus because his company is going to be collecting Ethereum and making big bucks on the back of Korean stablecoin frenzy being fueled by Ethereum. Germany's largest bank group is finally letting retail clients trade crypto, so that's interesting. Sparkassen will launch crypto trading services for retail clients by summer 2026. bank already active in crypto will manage the services. The move follows the rollout of MiCA regulations, which standardize crypto laws across EU. So that doesn't come until the bear market of 2026, though, unfortunately. So the Germans have to wait a little bit longer for their gains for 2029. Wintermute secures Wall Street's first Bitcoin-backed credit line. Cantor Fitzgerald's $2 billion lending program signals a new era for institutional crypto finance as market makers embrace regulated credit. Digital asset trading desk Wintermute has been provided with a record-breaking Bitcoin-backed credit line by Wall Street giant Cantor Fitzgerald, the newest benchmark in the institutionalization of crypto credit markets. The deal, which forms part of Cantor's newly launched $2 billion Bitcoin financing business, marks the first of its kind between a leading US investment bank and a leading digital asset trading desk, and could be the start of a new era of regulated risk management, managed financing for the sector. So just to point out the obvious, the crypto space is growing, and it's growing slowly, but one at a time. Things are being added, things are being put into place to embroid the financial system together with the new world of cryptocurrencies. And so banks are going to be entwined into this quilt sooner or later, and before you know it, crypto is going to become just as money. Dan Crypto Trades posted talked about an engulfing candle. Bitcoin has made a strong engulfing candle last week, but it still has to break the big resistance around this region. Once we start seeing weekly closes above this point, we can start aiming for higher grounds. Let's have a quick look at the Bitcoin charts, because we didn't do that today. So we've got our engulfing candle right here on the weekly. On the daily, Bitcoin is looking as such. We had a nice bounce and a closed candle above the Fibonacci retracement here, about the Fibonacci resistance that turned into support right now. And as long as this candle doesn't close below it and open another one below it, we should be in good standing. And so then we have the resistance at 109,000, the previous all-time high from January of this year. Once that's broken and secured, then we've got the other resistance at 2,000 at 111,000. Should probably mark that as well. At 111,000 right here, that's our next resistance. Once that's broken, I think we've got clear skies for a long way to go. Groundbreaking: Solana ETF to start trading in the US as soon as Wednesday. That should be interesting. A Solana exchange traded fund that tracks the price of the 6th largest cryptocurrency and delivers staking rewards to holders is set to commence trading in the US market on Wednesday. Coming Wednesday, the first ever staked crypto ETF in the US, Rex shares and Osprey Fund said Monday on X. Rex and Osprey submitted paperwork with the US Securities and Exchange Commission in May to create C Corporation ETFs that would invest in Solana and another that invests in Ethereum. Last week, the companies filed a letter with the SEC asking whether comments had been addressed for their application. As reported by ZY Crypto, the regulator had no further comments indicating that the product was effectively ready for launch. The Rex Osprey Sol plus staking ETF would be the first of its kind in the United States. On the back of this announcement, I believe Solana had a nice pump. That's why we saw an 11% jump on Solana on the 7 days, 3.6. It retraced a little bit now, but on the 24, but that's where it's coming from. And Robinhood brings tokenized US stocks to Europe. 24/5 trading goes live. Robinhood launches tokenized US stocks trading in 30 European countries, available 24 hours a day, 5 days a week. The tokens are backed by real shares, but do not include voting rights, only dividends and stocks splits. Trades are issued on the Arbitrum blockchain with plans to move to Robinhood's own layer 2 chain. So it's looking like the market, the financial market, is just expanding drastically. Cryptocurrencies are now, and blockchain is now making it possible to sidestep a lot of the hassles involved in trading stocks and simply begin trading stocks or the backed tokens or tokens backed by those assets, by the stocks on blockchain, which is obviously expanding markets and allowing people to invest into markets that they were not able to invest in previously. And billionaire Michael Saylor announces another Bitcoin purchase worth half a $1 billion. So right now, MicroStrategy holds about 2.8% of the total Bitcoin supply, 597,325 Bitcoin. That's a lot of bloody Bitcoin, let me tell you. And on the flip side of that, insider crypto whale blows 12.5 million in 8 straight wipeouts. Unbelievable. One massive crypto whale deemed to be a meme coin insider due to previously successful trades to a hardly believable level has embarked on an eye-watering losing spree. The pseudonym's crypto whale in question has banked 6.8 million back in March. A few days ahead of Donald Trump's strategic crypto reserve announcement, the crypto trader opened a 50x leverage long position on both Bitcoin and Ethereum. On top of that, the trading period had seen this whale placing a 50% leverage play on Melania Trump's signature Melania meme coin, and that brought him a nice chunk of cash. After pulling out all margins and profits, he let 160,000 ETH get liquidated, leaving the hyperliquidity provider to absorb the loss. Ouchie. And final warning being issued: is Bitcoin's corporate surge a bubble in the making? Yes, it most likely is. The surge in corporate Bitcoin holdings has ignited debate among analysts, with some warning that the growing institutional footprint in Bitcoin could be laying the groundwork for a future market collapse. Since early 2024, the number of corporations holding Bitcoin has jumped by 226%, with Q2 2025 alone seeing a 57.6% increase, according to data from Bitwise and Bitcoin treasuries. Over 134 companies now collectively hold 1.13 million Bitcoin, roughly 5.4% of the total supply. Public firms hold the lion's share, including major players like Strategy, Metaplanet, ProCap, Bitcoin, and 21 Capital. Crypto educator Heidi and Black Swan capitalist Varsan Al-Jarrah have both raised concerns about the long-term sustainability of this trend. Al-Jarrah suggests that the influx of retail interest is being encouraged by serve as exit liquidity, which I've been also saying. All these companies putting money into crypto right now, don't expect them to hold Bitcoin forever. Maybe MicroStrategy will, but MicroStrategy will be making money on top of its 3 existing stocks that they've issued, and so they'll be making money that way, dumping those stocks on the market and then continue holding Bitcoin. But all the other companies that are investing into Bitcoin right now, I don't think they're making promises to hold it forever, and they are definitely going to be taking profits when the time is ripe. And so when Bitcoin hits a certain level, the bear market will come, and it is all going to come crashing down. And I think the bear market this time around will be epic. So we've got about until the end of 2025. So based on the charts that I've talked about in the past, we've had, let's look here on the weekly, we've had 2024 November, that was the peak, and 2017 December, that was the peak. And now we are 4 years later. We've had some nice pumps throughout the year, but these were not the peaks. So this indicates that the actual December, November tops could be massive. So I think we are going to look at the time frames. I need to shift those time frames, but so November, December, this is where we'd be looking at quite possibly reaching the heights that I talked about before, just at a different time frame. November, December, this is probably where we'd be looking at a $200,000 Bitcoin maybe, and that's going to be all she wrote. November, December of this year, quite possibly. We may still see some jumps before that, we probably will see, but towards the end of the year is going to be the absolute end of it, and then the beginning of the next year is going to be the return of the bull market, of the bear market. Sorry, I didn't have my thing switched on here. So this is what I was talking about right here, October, November, December. That's where it's going to be the crescendo of this madness. Before all of that happens though, make sure to pick up a Descent wallet, the only biometric wallet that keeps your crypto secure and safe, and you get a discount on this, a $30 discount if you purchase one of them, a $99 discount if you purchase 2 of them. The ref links are below the video. Purchase those, it helps support the channel, and it helps you store your crypto safely and securely. You can trade, you can swap crypto on the Descent wallet, and they also have a giveaway right now going on, or ongoing giveaway. in which you can score some free crypto, free NFTs. So get yourself a Descent wallet. Also, do remember to smash the likes on this video. Do that. Subscribe to the channel. Leave me a comment in the comment section below. And see you tomorrow on a Wednesday. Korea's boiling out. Have a good one. Peace.